Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. I suspect there's a few Zack Snyder fans watching this video. I suspect there's a few DCEU fans watching this video because I've been talking to someone who's got some very interesting information. Now, I hope that this source is valid and reliable, but I've been told that Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder have been discussing the Snyder Cut and discussing what's done with it, what version comes out. Now, the negotiations apparently are taking a long time because Warner Brothers have got one idea which version should come out, and Zack really wants his total vision for this film to be released so fans can see it. What I've been told, which is very exciting, is that Warner Brothers want to release the Snyder Cut on the DC Universe streaming service. Now, this is something a lot of us spoke about when we spoke about avenues, how this could be done, where it will be viewed. I think this would be a brilliant idea, but don't expect this to happen anytime soon. Negotiations are still going on between Zack and Warner Brothers, but if this is true, this is really, really good news. I hope this is valid news. You never know. I trust this person. I always say that. There's got to be some trust between you and your source, or you won't get any information. Sometimes it's good. This just feels that this could be true. So, the main points. Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers are still talking about the Snyder Cut. They haven't agreed on anything yet, but Warner Brothers do want to release it on the DC Universe streaming service. And they don't want to put it on there until they've actually made that service available for the whole world, internationally. At the moment, it can only be viewed in America. So this is very interesting news. We're going to have to be a bit more patient, but if this is true, wow, imagine it. Warner Brothers, DC Universe, take my money now. I want to see a 3.5 hour version of this film. I want to see everything because I'm so excited. Now, moving on from that, there is a lot of things to talk about. Like David Ayer on Twitter this morning, talking about the original plan for Suicide Squad. So apparently Enchantress was going to be controlled by Steppenwolf, and that's why she was doing what she was doing in the film. But that didn't happen. They didn't even get to shooting that. But apparently we were going to see Steppenwolf, and that's what they were going to do. Now, personally, I would have preferred that. It would have made a lot more sense. It would have tied into Justice League. It would have made things a lot more exciting. I'm just assuming once Warner Brothers and maybe Zack weren't seeing eye to eye, they dropped that idea. What a shame. Good man, David, there for letting us know that. A bit frustrating that we didn't get that, but still very exciting. Now, I want to read you an article from Screen Rant. Now, on Facebook, I don't know how old my Screen Rant articles are. I seem to get a lot of old ones. So I'm sorry if you already know this, but let me read you the post. This is about Cyborg, right, in Justice League. A recent post from Snyder reveals major differences with the construction of the scene of the League in the Wayne Aerospace Hangar, or as theatrical cut would have you believe, the Batcave. While the theatrical version has mostly static wide shots, the version Snyder constructed had far more complicated cinematography and some technical wizardry to accomplish it. The director's Vero post says he wanted a constant moving camera. Wow. So he came up with an 8-camera beam splitter rig. Oh, I've never seen anything of the like before of this. I tell you what, I could do with something like that. For use in this scene, the accompanying storyboard is far more complex from art we've seen by the director in the past. As well, normally his storyboards are images with some arrows to indicate camera motion, that's true, but these boards include color-coded blocking instructions for both actors' cameras with technical, hang on, let me move it up a bit, technical diagrams of the camera setup, combined use of 35mm and 75mm through a beam splitter. That sounds amazing. Right, let's see if there's anything else. Right, if this isn't already interesting, the use of a beam splitter is what makes it even more fascinating. A beam splitter is a device that uses mirrors so that two cameras are arranged with one shooting straight forward, the other shooting vertically at a 45-degree angle to the first camera. That's impressive. I tell you, as a director, that's just exciting. The mirror is used to line up the two shots from slightly different angles in the designs posted by Snyder. The camera pointing forward was to be the 35mm camera, and the 75mm would have been the vertical one. Now, is there any more to this? The weird part is how atypical this is from the rest of the Justice League. Beam splitting rigs are usually used to shoot in 3D, but no other scenes in Justice League were shot in this way that we know of. The fact that he's using both 35mm and 75mm cameras in the beam splitter means that he's likely actually shooting identical shots but at different depths of field, allowing him to keep the camera in motion per his description while still being able to zoom and make other manipulations seamlessly in post-production. Since the scene was totally removed, outrageous by the way, in favour of one compromise of mostly static camera shots, we don't know exactly what the finished product would have looked like, but a portion of the deleted scene of Cyborg could give a bit of a hint, showing the camera simultaneously panning and zooming. It's definitely more visually interesting, yeah, you think? Wow. So what do we think about that? Very, very interesting. I mean, Zack's a genius. He's a marvel. Visually, his shots are so much more interesting. And we would have got something a lot more special than we got from Joss Whedon. You know, Joss Whedon isn't a groundbreaking director. It's as simple as that. He did do a good job with Avengers. There's no question about that. There's no doubt about that. But what Snyder would have given us is amazing. We deserve to see the Snyder Cut. It's absolutely outrageous that that hasn't happened. So it's all very, very interesting. And don't forget, earlier this week, a few fans paid for a big thing to go up in the sky, released the Snyder Cut. Zack went down there, took a picture and said, "This is caring." He posted that on Vero, by the way. So very, very interesting stuff. I do believe we are getting a happy ending to this story if this, what I've been told, is true. Because I'll tell you something, even though I'd love to see it on the big screen, I'll accept watching it on DC Universe. So what do you think? Are you excited? Could this really happen? Could at long last, and I've got a little theory about this, what it might be called. The Elseworld Cut. Justice League, the Elseworld Cut. Maybe not Zack's name on it, but does that really matter? I'll take Justice League, the Elseworld Cut. I'd do that. That's what I would call it. But who knows what's going to happen? Are we about to see this film? As I say, if what I've been told is true, it's going to take a very, very long time to sort everything out. I'll tell you something, it's going to be worth the wait.